Well, here goes nothing. Hello. Hi. Hi. Wait, is this thing on?
It is.
Oh,
It is. Don't touch it. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh,
You just hold it. It's natural. You just hold it.
okay. Okay. I just want to make sure I need to move. Hi. I'm Evan Carter. I'm the last person, and I'm going to be talking about what I think should change in the system of disabilities. First off, as Monique said, disability should not be a word that they use at all. Because every time I've heard that word, I have thought that it is demeaning and saying that something is wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me, okay? I am my own person. I learn my own way. I prefer challenges or something a little more like rounded because it just sounds bad. And another thing that I've learned in my life as a autistic person is that I don't like being treated like a little kid. Even when I was a little kid, I didn't really like being treated like a little kid. Because I was born in an era that did not understand a lot about autism at all. Pretty much, they thought, if you're autistic, you're stupid. And we all know that's not true. So I had to deal with that for a long time. And when people talk to me as a kid, I feel like they're demeaning me. And when you're demeaning me, I don't listen to you. I block you out. And I really just don't like it when people talk to me like a kid. Talk to me like an individual. Talk to me like I am equal to you. Because I really don't like when people do that. Another thing that I realized is the school systems. I've noticed that, well, for most of my life, most of my school life anyway, I've grown up in like a public school. Public schools at that time, I don't know what's going on now because I'm not a kid anymore, but most of the time, when you're a disability, you were picked on mercilessly because people saw that you were different and they just pick on you like that. You're an easy target. And you lived in fear when you were that target. You tried your best to put up your walls and all that, but it was really hard, and the teachers couldn't really help you. They didn't really know anything about that back then. Yeah, let's go. Okay, I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know. But anyway, when I was younger, especially in like middle schoolish and stuff, I moved into middle school. And we all know that, well, I know that middle school, I don't know about you guys, the young ones here, but middle school is prime pick-on age. And I did not want anyone to know I was different. I was in fear of anyone knowing I had autism. And that's not the thing to be at all. You should not be afraid that you're different. But anyway, I was so afraid when I was in that special ed class and anyone I knew in my class would see me. So I hid. I hid in the little library corner that no one can see me at. I hid and I was so depressed that I have eczema. It's a skin disease that you itch a lot. It got so bad I scratched myself raw. Out of pure stress. And thankfully my mom saw this and like, we need to get her out of here. This is not going to work. So thankfully I went to New Roads High School, which was a private school. And thank God Almighty for that. Because I needed change. I needed help. I need to know that it's okay to be different. That you can still, even though you can't do stuff like every normal person can, you still matter. And most of the time, when I was little, as a child, I was angry a lot. I had a younger sister with a snarky mouth and stuff, and I called her, she was the mouth, I was the fist. She got mad, I hit her. I'm sorry, I don't regret that, I was mad. And I could not defend myself with using words. I had a very hard time during my life defending myself verbally. So every time person got me hit, I hit, I punched, I kicked. That was my way of doing it. And pretty much the teachers couldn't really do anything about it because they didn't help anyway. Well, here's something I learned recently. Well, I'm 23 now. This happened when I was 21. I went to a program called the GAP program, which I am through FACT, this organization here. And when people tease me, I hit them, as usual. However, I learned that I could get in trouble if I do that. And I don't mean timeout trouble, I mean prison. So I was like, and then I realized like, oh, because I don't think I honestly knew that I would get in trouble. I did not think I was doing anything wrong. I don't know what, even though it's clearly wrong to hit someone, I probably did not know that I was doing something wrong. So, with a heavy heart, and realizing that, and the guilt inside me, realized that I need to retire the fist. The fist needed to be retired, I'm sorry. Otherwise I was going to get in a lot more trouble. So I was like, okay, I will retire the fist. I will stop punching anyone for good. So I did. And when people teased me, I had this extremely hard urge to just punch them right in the neck. And there's right in, like here. But I kept it in. I realized that there are other ways to stop it. I know that telling someone will help. Therapy helped me a lot when it comes to this. I need to be in therapy, otherwise something bad was going to happen. And that I need to know that I could do it. I could resolve something without using my fist. And for me that was really hard because offense was my defense. I had no other way of coping with other people because of that. So it was really hard to change. So I understand when a child is angry and mad and wants to punch someone because they called them a name or anything. It's really hard to keep that part of you inside. And usually when I got really mad, I usually just yell and break their eardrums anyway. But it was really... Who in this room has gotten angry at someone? Be honest. Yeah. So pretty much everybody. So I know for people that are autistic, well, autistic kids or adults, I'm not going to say people that are autistic, autistic adults and children, it is really hard for us to keep in anger. You don't think that we feel, but we feel more than you will ever know. So don't treat us like we are objects with no feeling, think that you can get away with stuff from teasing us or stuff like that. We remember that. We're watching you and we remember. And what I have to say is, what I regret as a child is that I felt like I was alone when I was angry. I did not feel like anyone was helping me. So, pretty much, if you have an angry child, make sure Well, one, first don't blame the child. That's probably they're just probably gonna not tell you anything. Just comfort the child, make sure that everything's okay, and observe. Observe. A child is not angry. This goes for any child, okay? Or any adult. Just observe them. See what makes them tick. It's not usually, they're angry because of something, or sad because of something, or happy because of something. It's cause and effect. They're just not happy to be happy, or sad to be sad. It's an effect. So nurture them. Make them feel wanted. Make them feel safe. And make them feel that their words and feelings matter. That's all I need to say. Does anyone have any questions? Case jacket.
Yes. Okay, so you're a teenager
X.
now with these angry feelings.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so think back. What kind of coping strategies were you maybe starting to, or was there anything at that time that you could help other teens with?
Well, I kind of learned that the coping when I was an adult, but breathing helps. Talking to people. I know there's some teens and preteens and kids in the audience. If you're angry, I know it's hard, I know you don't want help. You can do everything on your own and you know everything. But sometimes you gotta realize that you don't. And talk to someone. Say that you have these urges. They can help you. And that's what I would do.
You didn't like being treated like a little kid. Did you know anybody else who didn't like being treated like a little kid when they were a little kid?
I can't really name them, but I've noticed that a lot of people in the industry, or something, I'll call it industry for now, treated autistic people, Asperger's, Down syndrome, anyone that had a disability, challenge, I'm saying challenge, I don't put it like that. Like they're dumb. So they talk like to them to a kid. And such talk down to them. Like they were better. That's what I discovered that no one likes. At all. Doesn't matter if you're autistic, doesn't matter if you are normal, doesn't matter if you're anything in between. No one likes being talked down to. Treat each other as equals. That's how you deal with it. Okay, I saw a hand over here.
Hello. So, how did you figure out you were not doing the right thing and you got mad?
Oh yeah. Someone had to tell me. I did not get it. I don't know. I don't really get why I did not get it because that's clearly wrong now that I think about it. But I think emotionally and mentally, I did not get it. I just thought, someone talks smack, you smack them. And that's the end of it. And they got what they deserved. But when someone told me, I was like, oh, I really was doing something wrong. What have I been doing all these years? Was there an easier way to do this all along? So, yeah, that's what happened there. Okay. I'll pick you.
Who told you?
Yeah.
The director for my program, of GAP. GAP stands for Generating All Possibilities. It's for adults that are out of high school and moving into college and all that. She told me, like, Evan, you can't do this. You're doing something wrong by hurting people. You're committing assault, for crying out loud. And I'm like, oh. And I honestly, and there's like a big, you know like in cartoons when they just have a big rock just land on you?
And then Roadrunner would say,
Yeah, I was the coyote then.
yeah, very much.
And it's just like, it just hit me. I was like, oh.
Well, what's the difference? I mean, you had heard that before. Did you trust her? What was the difference? Why did you hear her and didn't hear other people?
Well, to me, the other people, I was a teen. I didn't really hear anyone. Okay. I was stubborn. I didn't care what they said. But I was a teen, able to slowly realize that I was kind of doing something wrong. And then when someone put the "you can go to prison" tag, I was like, oh. And since I know, for some reason, I know a lot about laws and stuff, and I was like, oh no. So I think it's because of trust for that. If someone like a parent, or, well, it's kind of hard since teenagers or young adults don't really like listen to anyone. But I think if it's from someone that you trust, you listen a lot more than
Well, is it just trust or
Trust.
something that is safe?
Yeah, trust and safe, that you know that you're not going to be ridiculed, not going to be pushed away, this person isn't going to hurt you.
Or they respect you as a person.
Yeah.
They respect how your thoughts and your feelings.
Yeah,
A safe place.
a safe place and a safe person.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Are you in a sorority or something? Or sweatshirt?
No, this is from my mom, I just took it. I have a habit of taking clothes that are worn and fuzzy sometimes. Yes?
I have a comment. I think you teach a really important lesson when you talk about, you said cause and effect, that every behavior is connected to an emotion, and that no behavior exists in isolation. I think it's so important. I think I celebrate you for sharing that with this room.
Oh, thank you.
Something simple, but yeah.
Well, it's simple, but yet so many people don't get it.
Yes. Just like the hitting and getting it.
Yeah, also, can I talk a little bit more if you don't? I noticed something about self-stimming. Well, for me, when I was a child, this is partly why I got teased a lot when I was little. It's because I used to walk around and just talk to myself instead of playing like the normal kids. And everyone thought I was crazy. It was the time when no one knew nothing. I was crazy then. To them, I was crazy. So they tried to assign me a friend. And we all know that that doesn't go that well when teachers pick your friends. So parents that are leaning towards that, please don't. Let them let them find their own friends, please. And yeah. Also, I learned now that sometimes, as an autistic individual, it's sometimes hard to accept other people sometimes when they do make things that make you irritable and make you have an issue. Stuff like that. Like, I think I know someone that I will not disclose their name out of being nice, that does something that does sniffing a lot as a stim. Sniffs and coughs and all that. And that's an issue for me. Because my dad did that for 18 years. And it was really hard. That's how I knew he was coming home by that. It was that bad. So, if person who watches this, I do like you, I do not mean anything by this. However, I'm just pointing it out. But I did not know that he didn't do that. That he did that as a stim. I just thought he was just being annoying sometimes. But I did not know it until someone explained to me, like, hey, this person's doing this for a stim. He doesn't want to do it. He can't help it. And I'm like, oh, another big rock down. Another big rock. And I was like, oh. So, and then I kind of felt bad and felt more understanding, like, even though I still don't like the sound, I understood. And person, if you're watching this, I am sorry, but I now understand you, and thank you for that lesson.
I live by myself, yeah. My mom helps, but I live by myself.
I live home with my mom, thankfully. Yeah, because that will help, of course, along the way, actually. So, I lived all my life with my mom, Elizabeth.
And Liam, are you living at home too at this point?
Yes, I live at home for a strategic reason because I don't make enough in anything that I do to live on my own. So I'm living at home for a specific and economic reason. And also my mom has always told me, I'd rather you stay home and live at home until you're ready to move out because I don't want you have to move back in if you
I agree.
Okay, are there questions? No questions, okay.
Oh, I just want to say that I am so happy to be here because I've known you, Monique and Dominique, since you were school age.
Oh, yeah,
I worked very
definitely.
closely with your mom, and all I can say is love has always been the primary source of strength for your family, and I've always seen the three of you together. And so I'm so happy to see you and see, because I haven't seen you in so many years.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's so wonderful, and I'm thrilled to be here. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I see another question. I see a hand there.
Oh,
Monique, I have a question for you.
for who?
For you.
Oh, okay.
When you were a kid,
Uh-huh.
and you felt angry inside,
Uh-huh.
what did you usually do?
That
Like you
is,
couldn't
yeah.
express yourself. What did you do instead?
Instead of expressing myself.
Yes.
Well, that's difficult because when I was younger, it was hard for me to feel anger. I thought anger was a bad feeling, and I didn't want to feel it in my body. And so for a long time, I didn't know that I felt angry. But I would, without thinking about it, express myself in other ways. So like guitar, I would do guitar and I would sing. And I did a lot of poetry. I loved poetry.
High five.
I agree with you.
Yeah. But as I got older, I learned that it's okay to be angry, and that I have the right to be angry, and that's a human emotion. And it doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean that I'm doing anything wrong. It just means that I'm feeling hurt, or I need something from someone, and I need to tell them that. So as I've gotten older, I've learned it's very important for me to be okay with feeling angry. So anger is a perfectly human and beautiful emotion.
Well said.
Yes.
I have a question, probably mainly for Monique, but you guys can chime in too. How did you prepare for moving out and living on your own? And then what, do you find that you need some extra support as you're doing?
How did I prepare? I didn't really prepare. I was so enthusiastic about moving out, and my mom was so supportive that I just, when the opportunity became available, I moved out. I had a roommate initially. We lived in a one-bedroom, and I had the living room, and they had the one-bedroom. And I did not know that that was a bad idea. It was a very bad idea. But it helped me to learn more about what I need. It helped me to learn about my needs. I really need to be alone. Not because I'm a isolated kind of individual, but because I feel a lot of emotions. And I need space to feel my emotions. But how to prepare, I really just did it. And the best thing was that my mom was there every step of the way and made sure that, that if I was in a situation where I needed help, she was there. And she's still there. Like, she still comes over, lives with my brother. And She helps like clean the kitchen towels that I do not clean, and the bathroom towels that I do not clean. I mean, I do my own laundry, but there are other things that she helps with. So she's definitely still like a part of my life. But I
What
think
about
just
money management? You got Jill's and all that.
I try to do as much as I can on my own. My mom does help me financially, and she's still very like lovingly adamant about how I should spend my money. But she's given me a lot of freedom to discover like what systems work for me, and what I need to do. And that's definitely something I'm still working out, is how to manage money.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
You guys
I've done a little bit.
Yeah.
It's permanent.
There you go. So yeah. So.
Yeah, what's up?
Monique, when did you start therapy?
When did I start there?
Yeah, and how did that happen? How did that start? Or
Cognitive?
because you're so articulate. I mean, just the things like being triggered and triggering your brother, and you're very
Isolated. Not isolated. Sorry, it was a bad idea.
It's okay.
That's okay. That's good. That's good because isolation allows you to get to where you are.
A little bit.
But when did it start?
So, I think my mom can speak more than me because I have difficulty with the concept of time as a linear thing in my head. So I had speech therapy since I was like 8 or younger, probably younger, because I actually had a really bad stutter, and I still have difficulty saying certain words. But speech therapy really helped me to get over that. And so then from there, I think I was like 10 or 11. No, before that. No, when I was like 9. See, I'm not my mom. No, when I was like 9, I started doing cognitive and behavioral therapy, and I've just had it like ever. Like I still go to therapy to this day because I stopped for a while, and then I was like, no, this does not feel good. Like I need a place to be vulnerable and speak my truth. So. Yeah.
How long did it take for you to feel safe in that place? Is it the same therapist?
No, I've gone through many different therapists. I had therapy at Frostic, and therapists there, it's been definitely comfortable, and that kind of makes people hesitant to be like, oh, this is a safe place, so I can't express how I feel because I might affect the other person. Whereas a brave space is about the willingness to be vulnerable and the willingness to take responsibility for your emotions and know that the individual's taking responsibility for their emotions and having that conversation about that dynamic. So to get to that place with my therapist was a long time to get to a brave place. But it's something that I do, and that's something I want to bring into my other relationships, making it more of a brave place. So.
I kind of want to piggyback off of that question and ask the rest of the three of you. I mean, I assume that there have been other, service providers in your past, and anything that you feel has helped, be it speech people or behavioral, or is there any specific service or person that's really impacted you and you feel like has been really helpful, and why?
I can answer to that. One thing I helped in my life, I don't know about you guys, but I think one of my personal therapists of mine helped me along the course run would be Ken, and that's from Shuttlers and Associates. I don't know if you heard of that company before, but it's one of those programs that you help within your special needs and become, or what I say? I see. Not invulnerability, but to be more aware of something. Like hitting your head is not an issue, and it is an issue for some people, but you have to become and be aware of it. That don't do this, don't do that, So we set ground rules for that, and that's what helped me doing that.
For me, I think cognitive and just talking to someone in general, I have a lot of feelings that I need to express, and if I don't, and if I get them all up, they'll explode. And it ain't pretty when that happens. So I need to express myself. So I think what was that?
Cognitive.
Cognitive and cognitive
Speech.
Well, speech I had when I was like 6 or younger. But yeah, I think for me, I don't really think I care who the person is. But there's some conditions I need to follow for it. One, like Monique said, you have to trust that person. There's no way I'm talking to you, you are expressing my feelings, and I don't trust you. 2, that I am not afraid. I'm not afraid to speak up, tell you if something's wrong, something's wrong. And just not be afraid of you or the space that is around me or something like that. And 3, that you will understand. I understand a person that will understand and help me. If I'm reaching out to you, I need some kind of help. It may not be like the crazy help, but it's some kind of help. Like help with homework, or help with an issue I'm dealing with, or just help with managing my stress and make me realize that it's okay. So, for me, I think a therapist that will do those things, I think you're golden with those.
I would say one-on-one counseling helps a lot. If you need to go see a psychiatrist, do it. But definitely meeting as many people in the world as you can is probably the best, because that forces you to keep on working on the presentation of yourself. And the more people you meet, you will actually be able to see at certain points where you actually stack up against other people. Like, I've met people who don't have a diagnosis at all, and I'm like, oh, my functioning level is higher than you. Everyone, the more people you meet, you will be able to gauge how much support you need. But at the same time, if you have that support offered to you, you might as well just take it. Especially if it comes without a price tag. Well, I mean, without a price tag that you have to pay. If someone else is footing the bill and you're getting that offer, take it and use it for as much as you can, and then leave it, when you don't need it. Yes?
When did you get that self-realization, Liam, that you looked at yourself, at all of you? I sort of asking, like, when did you sort of realize that using your, someone told you that using your fist was wrong, but when did you look at yourself and see yourself for who you were and not who you thought you were?
That's hard.
Such a good question. But is it because all of you guys have come to this place that is just so phenomenal? I mean, it takes a lifetime to get to this place where you look at yourself, I think all of us, and say, wow, I'm 50 and this is what I do, and this is what I do well, and this is what I don't do well, and this is what I need, and this is what I don't need.
I think that's a changing thing too.
But did it happen when you were 18, when you were 20? Obviously it didn't happen when you were 13, right? In the middle of all that anger, that pleasing.
Hey, there's some things I can do really well. Like, believe it or not, I was quiet as a mouse when I was younger. Like, for me, something that was easy for me was being creative. And it was express myself through creativity. That's something that I realized I wasn't good at was interacting with some people. For me, I was pretty shy when I was little. I was too afraid to get hurt. I didn't want the chance to get hurt. In such, I was vulnerable. I was trying to put up a top front to make sure that I did not get hurt in the inside. But I think I realized from a long time ago that, hey, there's some things that I looked inside myself, okay, like, I looked at myself, but I didn't realize it till I was older.
20?
21 or 20, 2011 or 12 or
Okay, so
something was a
it's-
big year for me,
Okay.
year for
So in
realization.
their 20s, early 20s, early 20s.
Or it could be younger. You can have hope. You can have some hope.
No, I don't know that you need hope. I mean, I think that a lot of people find, I'm just, at different times, I was just curious, because you clearly found an interesting place.
I think it's a continuous process.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't want to take up too much space, so I feel like I've been talking a lot, and I'm sorry. But just the notion, I think people, myself included, tend to think of things in a linear fashion. So like your progression in life is like, oh, I've gotten to this point, so that's no longer a problem. Oh, so then now I can move on. And that's a very linear way of looking at things, instead of looking at things in a very fluid way, that it's a continuous process, that there are ups and downs, and that there's no like mark of like, oh, this is done, this is a check, this is off my checklist. I think I'm continuously learning about myself and I'm still doing this, like continuously, like who I think I am versus who I want to be versus where I'm actually at. Like that is a continuous process of awareness that will always continue, and it's not about it ever being a stopping point where I'm like, oh, I'm done. I think it's about always continuing that awareness and always continuing that work. So, yeah, that's all.
Can I just make a comment on what you're saying? I mean, I love the self-realization of where you guys are. But I have to also, you're making me think about myself. I'm still learning about me. And I think of that thing that Temple Grandin says, different but not less. It's just you're who you are, and you're growing and learning. And I'm just, I have a child on the spectrum, but it's like, I'm always looking at him in amazement. But he's just himself. He just is different, but not less. And I don't know if that's true. I'm just a comment on what you're saying.
Oh, it's true.
Okay.
There's one way to look at it. Every individual is basically a wall. And all these supports are basically like someone taking a rotten tomato and throwing it at the wall. Now, how do you paint a wall with rotten tomatoes? Well, it depends how hard and how many tomatoes you throw at the wall. So sometimes these supports, you'll get something given to you, and they've perceived that you won't need the support, and then it turns out you actually did need it. Other times they'll give you a piece of support, and they thought you needed it, and it'll turn out that you didn't. However, the best, unfortunately, test to know how strong your armor is to, at some point, take away these supports. And basically, the difference between a child and an adult is the child will run away and not go up against your adversary. But the adult, if they get knocked down or whatever, they get to a point where they are able to go back and face that monster. In the ancient stories, there was anyone here Oedipus Rex? Yeah, so he had a prophecy that he would become king, but he had to become king after so many trials. But the story ends up that he actually did not face those trials until much later in life, but he still had to face the juggernaut that he did face. So, the best thing is to try to, as best as you can, just to move forward. And whether it's a slow march or a fast march, just keep moving forward.
One more question over here.
Oh, yeah, you all know each other from fact, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
we do.
From a long time.
Can you please explain what you guys go to a meeting once a week or once a month, or how does that work?
It's
Just talk a little bit about.
Just for 5 to 6 months, depending on where you're at.
Actually, we've met for like, on Mondays for like once a week. Sometimes people are there, sometimes they're not. We all have our schedules and our stuff like that. But usually we meet there for like once a week on Mondays at, I think, is it like 6 or something? Yeah, 6. And we talk about issues that we have. We try to, we try to figure out ways that we can try to better ourselves. Like, I think one time that our friend Alex, who's over there in the hat,
Trying to be blacklist.
kind of had us do like how to teach a presentation or something like that, which I wasn't that thrilled with because I had to plan. But I think everyone got through it, and we learned something from it, as you can see by our speech here.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
A question up front.
For Evans, I really enjoy your talk, and not that I don't enjoy everybody's. And I have a question. I'm thinking when you were saying when you were younger, you were picked on when you were talking to yourself,
Self-serving.
self-serving. I don't know how to address that because my son does that too. So I know I have to accept him for doing that. He just turned 19. So how did you get over that, or how did you handle that? Because I don't see any of that now. I mean, is that something you do privately, or how you handle that? To get over that.
For some, well, I think I do it sometimes, but more privately or in my own head. Like, I think sometimes I busy myself with other stuff, and so much that I don't really do that stuff anymore, and it becomes less and less. And you find other coping mechanisms. Because people kind of do, because some people do stims for different reasons. Some do it to stay in the moment. Some do it because it's fun.
Anxiety.
Some people do it because they're bored and it's exciting. Some people do it because they have to. I think, for me, since I didn't really have that many friends growing up, it was a way to entertain myself. Otherwise I'd be bored and fall asleep. So, I figured, and as I talked to more people, opened up, and got more busy, it just slowly went away.
Can I ask a question because my son has this? Do any of you have issues with OCD?
What's OCD?
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
I have.
You do?
Yeah. Well, I'm used to grow out of it. Not fast, but slowly out of it. And that's the truth for me. Yeah?
Well, I just wanted you guys to have an opportunity before the close to maybe lead people to where they can find out more about you. Like,
Oh, yeah, you can find out
website,
more at the website at fact.com.
where you're a filmmaker.
Oh, yeah, definitely,
So,
definitely, sorry.
where can they see some of the films you've made?
Well, I did a couple of them, which is Governor Inner 1 and 2. Also, I did a partnership and collaborated with Echo Park Film Center. So all of it, we can go to Xavier the Gamer 211 at youtube.com.
Can you say that again?
Xavier the Gamer. X.
Xavier the
Xavier, XA, right?
Say it again.
Xavier the Gamer at 211 at YouTube. It's on their channels.
Wait,
Go.
it's Xavier the Gamer 211?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your YouTube channel.
2 YouTube channels.
2 YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Okay, and
That was the newest. Yeah.
so Monique, how about your music? Can anybody hear your songs or poems anywhere?
Yeah, I used to have a MySpace. That's out of date now. Actually, what I'm going to do is that I don't have my business cards with me and people can take down. I'm going to give you guys my number because I do Reiki and I do one-on-one sessions with people. I'm trying to get out there. So if you're interested,
business cards.
you have my business
yeah.
cards.
What about me also?
All right.
I have business cards of yours too.
Excellent.
How about either of you? Any where you want to lead people to know more about?
Well, I'm kind of a little iffy about social media because I once had I didn't have a MySpace, but I once had a Facebook account that someone made for me, and I had to delete it because I still got too many friend requests from people I did not know. And well, for me, well, I do work at We Rock the Spectrum. So
Where?
Santa Monica. And I work as an art teacher. I work as like an art teacher in Cumming for that.
Wow.
Also, email works too. I need to start checking my email more, but that's a different story.
Yes, well, my projects are mostly in development right now, but you can reach me at liamwag@aol.com. That's liamwag@aol.com.
Wait, don't you have a card?
Yes, but the website has gone out of service right now. Yes.
Quick question. What do you guys do for fun? Do you guys like get together? Do you plan something together as a group or?
I'm having fun right now.
Comic-Con,
Yeah, for me.
like a weekend, like holidays coming up, do you like contact your friends, do you make plans?
I'm still thinking.
For me, I'm still trying. It's still kind of a little hard for me to reach out to people. I do not know why, but it's kind of hard. But for me, I do like drawing and stuff. I learned that I can cook, so chopping stuff is relaxing. Except for onions, don't chop onions. Don't do that. But, and I like to play video games. I like games a lot.
Okay.
Well,
I have a Nintendo
Few
DS and I
more
spent
people? Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Mother?
Yeah.
I'm from South America and I'm living here 7 years old and I have a son with autism who's 4 years and a half. It's the first time that I'm meeting with young adults and I'm amazed how for you the way you talk, the wise that you are for you. You surprise me. I was thinking the wise. Sorry for my English. The wise of you is for the adult people. You know, made me thinking my dad does. I don't know how to say. Advices my dad used to give me. For a few mentions, most of them. And I'm so happy to know you for a few and thank you very much.
Thank you. I think, our time's running out, but I want to thank you guys, and I'm sure if you have a few more questions. We hope to see all of you guys at our holiday party in December. Flyers are out here. Thank you so much.